Strebels with us, Chief Market Strategist and Blue Line Futures. Phil, a little downside today, a little hit across the risk spectrum. Seemed like yesterday we kind of just got a little bit over our skis, though. What do you think?
100%. And I think we were due for this. I mean, you look at the S&P 500, it was up 9 of the last 10 days. It felt like the trading gods were giving people an opportunity to get out that rode that wave all the way down and kind of rethink some of their positions. I mean, a lot of these markets across the board with the dollar index selling off so much kind of gave you a small gift and an opportunity to get out. You got to remember, if you trade commodities, you got to have one foot out the door at like all times. You can't be fully committed to anything here because these are global markets. They change in a second, and just a delay on a payroll revision number sends these markets haywire. No telling what Jerome Powell's going to say here tomorrow.
Fair enough. We're a little trigger happy right now. Fast twitch markets. I guess that's maybe a sign of the times, perhaps the economy on the edge.
It was a little quiet this morning coming into these markets. And I mean, we all know that with that payroll number being revised, that the economy looks a little bit more grim going forward. So it's natural that markets are going to digest this and start to take things off. I mean, there's just too much event risks that are coming up here, whether the Fed's going to cut 25 or 50, what he's going to say, what the economic data is going to point to. So I just think that when you look at, and then you look at like across the pond, either way you look at it, I mean, it's not really doing that well, even China. And that's where you get your copper was rolling over, failed at the 200-day moving average. Silver failed at the 50-day moving average. Crude oil futures are the only bright spot right now with a small little bounce up. But geopolitical risk has really kind of come out of that market right at the moment. Recession fears weigh in on the demand.
Okay. Even the mighty gold brought down today. But is that an opportunity?
100%. I'm with you on that one. Like, I mean, if you look at the economic cycle that we're going into, gold is like one of the more favorable with the 10-ounce contract. And not a whole great deal of volatility, about $38 a day it moves. So on a 10-ounce contract, it's about $380 for every contract you own. I think that you start looking at, hey, we're coming to the downside of an upward channel, where I think that people to basket that and silver together, even though they got about an 83% correlation over the last 90 days, I think the reality is you want to tread lightly if you're going to start adding silver, because you see here today it's down about 2.25%. And if you start getting copper rolling over, it could really weigh in, and you could see the gold silver ratio get back up to 89, 90, 92.
Okay. Yeah, silver been a little bit more sluggish on the uptake, but gold really working pretty well. We had a decent bid into copper the last week. That got hit too. So interestingly enough, while the metals are under some pressure, we got a little relief bounce in crude, but that thing just seems like a hot plate maybe. You've got to be careful to touch.
Yeah, and if you look at natural gas prices, they rolled over today. If coming off those lows, we added some natural gas, and then they just didn't break out to the upside. It seemed like they shifted the weather models a little bit cooler, and we saw an injection here, another build on inventory. So prices are breaking down, they're rolling over. Path of least resistance been down on the natural gas market. And, I think crude oil probably going to just bounce to another lower high on the charts. It's probably not going to be unless something material Middle East, happens. But we're at the tail end of the summer driving season, so the demand structure is just not there at the moment.
Okay. Hey, wouldn't be a hit between us if we didn't talk a little Bitcoin. Nice rally yesterday. Give back today. It seems like at best it's like one step forward, one step back for this thing.
Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin hasn't really gone anywhere. I mean, it's drifted higher, but it could be one of those days where it's down $3,000 to $5,000. The thing that we got to talk about is the Bears are going to beat Kansas City 99-4 today.
99.
Right.
Oh, you got money on that line?
You never bet on preseason. Come on, man. Come on. We're professionals over here.
All right. We'll see you in Chicago for a game this year, Phil.
All right. I'll take you to one, I promise.
All right. Appreciate the thoughts as always. Phil Strebels, Chief Market Strategist, Blue Line Futures.